Salamun alaykum tibtum mubarakatan tayyibah. Rabbi a'udhu bika min hamasati shayateen wa a'udhu bika rabbi an yahdurun. Alhamdulillahi wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa. Alhamdulillahi alladhi hadana lihada wa ma kunna linahtadiya lawla an hadana Allah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Alhamdulillahi alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal ard wa ja'ala adh-dhulumati wan nur. Respected audience, my dear brothers and sisters, and my dear friends who are living at home and abroad. First of all, I must express all thanks and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is Almighty, world sustainer, world cherisher, world provider, world legislator, who has enabled us to participate in this Qur'an based discussion. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, we expressed the hamd of Allah, the praises of Allah by saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allah has taught us how to express His bounty, His favors, His status, His high status by saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Dear listeners, definitely, undoubtedly, you know that very, very well. Already we have been started our discussion regarding Qur'an, and we have decided our subject, that is, why do you learn Qur'an? Why do you study Qur'an? That means you can explain this like, what are the causes or what are the reasons of learning Qur'an? It is very important issue, very much essential issue for each and everybody all over the universe, because as a human being, you are supposed to do something in your life. You need to maintain rules and regulation in everywhere. But as a creature, as a khalq of Allah, as a creature or creation of Allah, you will have to follow the Allah's rules and regulations. And at the same time, if you claim that you are a Muslim, if you are trying to be a Muslim, you will have to acquire knowledge of Holy Quran properly. So that I have mentioned here and discussed here in my first lecture, first session, in first part of my lecture, that is the causes of reading Quran. Then I have mentioned, I have discussed, there are 6 reasons already I have finished. Today I am going to deliver a speech regarding this topic, that means causes of reading Quran, studying Quran from the Holy Quran, towards you, to all of you, and I must request to all of you to attend my program, to listen this lecture with full of attention. Cause number 7, my dear brothers and sisters, and my dear friends, and dear audience. You know that very, very well, the whole universe has been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created and originated and supplied and provided and managed, arranged everything for ours. That is, Allah has described and stated in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 29, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُمْ ما في الأرض جميعا. He is Allah who has created for you, all of you, what is in the heaven, what is in the earth, what we are watching, what we not, what is here, what is there. Everything is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, cause number 7, if you don't study the Quran, if you don't understand the Quran, if you don't know the Quran, how can you know, how can you inform Allah's creations, Allah's creatures, Allah's favors, Allah's measures, Allah's rules, Allah's regulations? So, definitely, undoubtedly, absolutely, you will have to know the Quran. Allah has ordered us, Allah has commanded us in Surah Muhammad, chapter number 47, verse number 19. فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Therefore, i'lam. It's a word of imperative sentence, and it is speaking, it is called in Arabic language, Arabic grammar, Sighatul Amr. Allah has commanded, therefore, i'lam, you know. Allah has commanded to Salamun ala Muhammad, his prophet, Allah's chosen person, Allah's bestowed person, Muhammad Salamun alayhi. You know, there is no any other lawgiver, any other policymaker, any other ilah. There is no any other true ilah, true lawgiver, true policymaker than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means, fa'alam, you know very, very well. It is Sigatul Amr, it is imperative order, it is a word of Amr. That means, it is an order, it is an ordinance. You will have to know, you must know that there is no any other ilah. Ilah means, ilah does not mean only ma'bud, it is false meaning. Ilah does not mean ma'bud. Allah did not use the word ma'bud in the Holy Quran. Allah used another word, Allah Hakim, Qadir, Muqtadir, Aziz, Al-Malik, Al-Qayyum, Al-Hayyu. That means, ilah, there are so many meanings of ilah that you will get in the Holy Quran. If you go through the detail of the Holy Quran, then you will get it, you will know it. Ilah, there is no any other ilah. That means, if you know the meaning of ilah, if you want to know the meaning of ilah, you must read out the Quran. The Allah ordered Sallallahu Muhammad, fa'alam, that means you must know, you will have to know, you must have to know, there is no any other ilah. That means, there is no any other. Ilah means lawgiver, policymaker, legislator, security giver, whole and soul sovereign, and who is the all powerful, all knower, all acquainted. Allah is the only lawgiver. There is no anybody else who can claim that he is a lawgiver. He can give the law. But Allah only can give the law. So Allah is one and only as a lawgiver, as a policymaker, as a legislator, and Allah deserves all the power of sovereignty. Allah belongs all the power of sovereignty and power of making law. None has the right to make any law. So initially, Allah has ordered Salamun ala Muhammad, fa'alam annahu la ilaha illallah. You know there is no any other ilah. That means there is no any other true ilah. That means you will get many more ilahs, many more lawgivers, policymakers in this world. But there are not true ilahs. There are not true lawgiver. They are false lawgivers. Allah is the one and only true lawgiver, true legislator, true policymaker. Then Allah taught Salamun ala Muhammad, you know, you must know, fa'alam annahu la ilaha illallah. So, for this reason, for this important cause, you will have to understand the Holy Quran. what we are seeing, what we are watching in this world, most of us, they are going to mosque to offer salah. They are doing something regarding Islam in the name of Sharia, in the name of Sunnah, present. Actually, Allah has used this word to relate Himself, only one, Sunnatullah, system of Allah, method of Allah, law of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not use this word for Salam al Muhammad, Sunnah of Muhammad, Sunnah of Messenger, Sunnah of any other prophet. You will not find a single verse, single ayah from the Holy Quran. But Allah has used many more times, several times in the Holy Quran, Sunnatullah and Suratul Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 77. Surah Al-Ahzab, chapter number 33, verse number 38. And you will get many more verses in the Holy Quran about it. To my dear brothers and sisters, cause number 7, I am repeating, regarding Allah's identity, regarding Allah's attributes. If you want to know the Allah's favors, Allah's law, Allah's measures, Allah's rules and regulations, Allah's status, Allah is the Most High, Allah is the highest, Allah is the all powerful. If you want to know the Allah's attributes, Allah's majesty, Allah's mercy, then you must have to know the Holy Quran. So, before doing something regarding Islam, before starting your action of Islam, that means before starting your amal, before that, you will have to know the Quran. You must know the Quran. You need to know the Quran properly, perfectly, accurately, wholeheartedly. Because what scenario, what picture, what condition, what circumstance we are watching here and there, our people are always busy to their job, but they don't have enough time, plenty of time, or minimum time to read out the Quran, to study the Quran. So, actually, in fact, if you want to perform Islamic rituals, Islamic ideology, Islamic principles, Islamic activity, you must know the Quran. I am telling you again, I am repeatedly tell you, my dear brother and sister, you will have to know the Quran. Because Allah has commanded us, and Allah has commanded to Salam ala Muhammad in Surah Al-Alaq, Surah number 96, chapter number 96, verse number 1. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqal insana min alaq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in that verse, Iqra. You read by the name of Allah, who has created. You read by the name of Allah, who has taught us through the pain. That means Allah ordered us about studying the Quran, about reading the Quran. So, without knowing the Quran, without learning the Quran, you will never be successful about your life in this world and that world. That means in here and there and hereafter. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained everything in the Holy Quran. So, this is the cause number 7. Now, I am going to discuss the cause number 8. My dear brothers and sisters, if you don't give you time to learn the Quran, or if you are not serious or sincere about learning Quran, about reading Quran, regarding studying Quran, then you will face very big trouble in your life. You will be like a blind man, like a blind, because a blind who can't see anything else, who can't move alone. You know that very, very well. So, our people who are very much serious about Islam, but they are not serious about reading Quran, learning Quran with full of understanding, with full of plain meaning, but they are always busy for their jobs and they are expressing themselves that they are very much righteous and pious, but actually they didn't give time to read out the Quran. There is very bad news. There is very bad sign. That is very big problem for us. Because Allah has ordered in the Holy Quran, Allah has explained in the Holy Quran everything of human being. That means solution of everything. And Allah has discussed in Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 10. لَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ كِتَابًا فِيهِ ذِكْرُكُمْ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ لَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ كِتَابًا فِيهِ لَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ كِتَابًا فِيهِ ذِكْرُكُمْ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Allah has stated, Allah has discussed in these parts, in this ayah. Laqad, lam is a confidential word. Allah has said this verse, in this verse, confidently and surely and evidently. Lam, it is called in Arabic grammar lam lit ta'kid. Al-qad, it is also ta'kid, that means confidence. It increases surety and certainty of the sentence. Allah has said, laqad, verily, undoubtedly, certainly, I have revealed, I myself, and anzalna, this is word in Arabic language, Arabic word, jama' mutakallim. Allah has used this word in plural number for his status, non-parallel status, for his respect and honor and high status, for his mightiness. So Allah has said, undoubtedly, I myself revealed such a book, such a grand book, glorious book, noble book, prestigious book, honorable book, which is full of explanation, which is full of explanations, which is full of exposition, which is full of description, which is full of law, which is full of dispensations, which is full of admonition of your life. You will get every type of solution in the Holy Quran of every problem. And then Allah asked to human being, to all of us, Afala taqilun. Why didn't understand that? Why you are not going to reflect that? Why you are not using your talent, your intellect, your knowledge? That means Allah clearly spoken here. I have stated, I myself revealed the Quran, and that book is very much clear to us. But why you are not going to understand that? So if you don't read out the Quran, how can you understand the Quran? If you don't give you time to learn the Quran, how can you perform Islam accurately, properly? For that reason, we are watching the scenario, we are facing the problem in Islam. That means in the name of Islam, the many people do many things according to their own ideas, own gazes, own policies, own school of thought, own mazhab, which is not authenticated, proven, documented by the Holy Quran. You are doing something in the name of Islam, but which is not authenticated, documented in the Holy Quran. But you are claiming you are a Muslim, you are wanting mercy of Allah, you are demanding favor of Allah, you are wanting peace of Allah, and you are very much sincere about it that you are going to get Jannah. You are going to be an inhabitant of Jannah, paradise. But how can it be possible? Because your action, your amal, your dua, your invocation, your presentation, your all sort of amal, your all type of amal will never be accepted, will never be granted without the Quranic knowledge, without the perfect knowledge. And perfect knowledge and accurate knowledge, pure knowledge, undoubtedly, definitely has come to us through the Quran. You will not get any perfect knowledge, any pure knowledge, any solid knowledge rather than the Quran. So our people, they are following their own books, own ideas, own lectures. So many people, many opinion, many school of thought in the universe. So my dear brothers and sisters, I am giving on this point high importance because Allah has mentioned in another verse in Surah Muhammad, chapter number 47, verse number 24. Allah has said, Allah has declared here, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Allah has mentioned here, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. This is the interrogative sentence, and in Arabic language there is two types of interrogative sentence, one positive and another negative. This is called negative interrogative, and it is called in Arabic language al-istifham al-inkari, or another one al-istifham al-tankiri. Allah has used this interrogative sign of interrogation, and this is an interrogative sentence. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ مَعَ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Why do they not reflect the Quran? Why they are not going to realize the Quran? Why they are not going to understand the Quran? Why they are not going to recite the Quran? Allah has questioned, Allah has asked us, because they are not going to understand the Quran. Are there locks upon their hearts? That means their hearts has been fulfilled by many more locks, overlocked, fully locked. That means they are not going to read out the Quran, they are not going to understand the Quran. That means their hearts, the hearts of those people are completely locked. So Allah has mentioned here is a plural number of kuflun. Kuflun means lock, and in jama and plural akfal. Allah has mentioned here akfalua. That means upon their hearts locks. That means lock over lock, because they are not going to realize the Quran, to understand the Quran, to follow the Quran, to reflect the Quran. So this is the cause number 8. If you don't try to understand the Quran, that means your heart must be locked. Just think about it. Just remember, I am reminding you, if your heart is being locked, then how can you perform Islam properly? Then how can you understand the Quran? So this is the cause number 8, my dear brothers and sisters. Before going to offer salah, before going to observe Psalm, before going to do something regarding Islam, you will have to know the Quran. I am calling you, I am inviting you just you think about it. First of all, you need to know the Qur'an. That is the order of Allah. If you don't know the Qur'an, then your any type of amal, any sort of amal will never be accepted, will never be granted. But those amal and your amal must be rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of that, because every amal, every action of Islam must be performed, must be executed in accordance of the Holy Quran. Because Quran is one and only book to follow. There is any other book to follow, any other book to follow and to give reference from those books. Finally, my dear brothers and sisters, I am inviting you to read out the Quran, and you will have to give your time to learn the Quran, to understand the Quran. And I am requesting you to follow our lecture and to visit our YouTube channel. And as well as if you go through the detail of the Holy Quran, then you can understand the depth of knowledge, depth of matter regarding Quran. If you don't go in detail in the Holy Quran, then you will not understand anything else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah help us, may Allah guide us, may Allah sustain us, may Allah teach us the Quran, may Allah give the ability, competency and efficiency to learn the Quran and to follow the Quran in every walk of our life. Salamun alaykum, tibtum mubarakan tayyiba, wa akhiru da'wahan alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.